everyone, I'm Matt.
Hi, I'm Desiree.
And we're bringing you this week's Rising Tide West Coast Swing Guide.
Happy 2024, and welcome back to the Rising Tide West Coast Swing Guide. It is where we bring you West Coast Swing content every single Friday on YouTube and Facebook. And man, we are excited for our next series, the Just Swing January 2024 series. What we're going to do here is distill the most fundamental level of West Coast Swing basics and use them to ironically expand your West Coast swing. So we're super excited to for our first guide, hit on a topic that we get asked a lot about these days, which is, do you need to triple when you West Coast swing, and how can you swing without necessarily triple stepping? So we'll talk you through that, and then we'll also break down how you can lead and follow without triple stepping all the time.
Yeah, like Desiree was saying, one question that we get asked a lot, both in private lessons and in group classes, is like, well, I saw X, Y, and Z really great dancer on YouTube or TikTok or in real life, and they didn't triple, so how come I need to? And it's a great question, because one thing that the triples serve is a function in West Coast swing is to create movement. And so what we want to do is always have some movement in our dancing. What we may not need to do is triple step with our feet. That's a very easy way for newer dancers to keep the movement going, is by literally moving their feet. But once you progress past the point where you can move your body without moving your feet, you can, if you would like to, remove some of the triple steps from your West Coast swing.
Yeah,
Not all.
triple steps are really fundamental to the look and feel and rhythm of West Coast swing, so we'll never get rid of them, but we will add variation as we advance in our experience level, and that's what we're here to kind of test the waters with you. So, how do we keep time when not triple stepping? It's important to understand the fundamental timing structure of West Coast swing. We have a downbeat and an upbeat, a 1, 2, an odd and an even, and we step on those beats. So if you are looking to fundamentally keep basic timing without triple stepping, you're going to be thinking about dancing the 1, maybe holding the 2, dancing the 3, maybe holding the 4, dancing the 5, and then getting back to the 6 if it were a basic pattern in order to anchor quote unquote on time. So be thinking about that. We're not looking to dance the half beats. We could also dance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dance the evens, dance the odds, but don't dance in between. That goes for leaders and followers. What about just leaders and leading without always tripling?
Yeah, so from the leader side, I personally think this is a little bit easier because the space movement that we need to do within a pattern leaders is typically less than the follower. So for something like the left side pass, all I need to do is step back on 1 and get out of the way. At that point, I've given Desiree the momentum to go through the rest of the pattern. I don't need to physically move myself in space anymore, which means that I have a lot more freedom to dance within those steps and try to keep the movement going. Now, what I could do is play with something in the music, I could play with something my partner's doing, or I could even just use my body to create an even more comfortable lead. Let's say we're doing something like a turn. Instead of just leading with my feet, I could use my upper body here and the shaping through the middle to really create a nice body lead for that rotation.
Absolutely. Now followers, before we get into shaping or styling or anything like that, because we do need to go from point A to point B so much in West Coast swing, dancing through the slot, we want to make sure that we are always starting with the mechanic of movement before the styling, the substance over the style. So, 2 things I want you to keep in mind, in addition to the basic timing we already talked about. 1, you're going to need to keep your feet a little further apart. So when I do an anchor and I'm triple stepping, I can keep my feet, if I cared to, almost glued to one another. We're going to really want to take a wider stance, because if we do, say, a push break, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, where I'm cutting out those triples, I will need to anchor, get my body ready for the next lead in some way, shape, or form. And my feet together, kind of hard to do that most of the time. So think wider stance. If we do a pass, like a right side pass, my feet are going to need to be wider apart than they would be if I was a left side pass, please, taking lots of triples in the middle. Next thing is West Coast swing is all about the body movement. And so what we want to do when we have this wider steps is we want to take our body over time over top of those steps. You'll notice that when I triple, like in a left side pass here, that my body can be very what we would call stacked over the feet, right? My body is hardly moving over those feet, but when we take these wider steps, when we cut out these triples, my body needs to be filling that space, my core, my trunk needs to fill that space in order to get the mechanic of West Coast swing.
That was your guide. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and check out our website and online store, links in the description.
See you for more Just Swing January.